Welcome to the Harris-Made Chef Services Tailgate Show.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics! We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share that SeatGeek is a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Yeah!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back with the Harris-Made Chef Services Tailgate Show. I'm your boy MC, Jesse the Beard Thurman, and if you look to the lower portion of your screen, you will be looking live at the first ever crossover between Hog HQ, Matt Hart, and our boy there in the background, Razorback Zach. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm just, I came screaming in on two wheels here about a minute and a half before we went live, and just trying to get my bearings all about me here so we can talk about this game coming up. Here in about, right about an hour from right now, we'll be kicking off in AT&T Stadium for the, what appears to be the last Southwest Classic matchup in Jerry World after this year. Allegedly, it's supposed to be moving back to home and home, so hopefully Arkansas has a lot of demons they need to exercise today and finish this thing out the right way.
MC, I'm kind of like, hang on. All right, there we go.
There we go.
I'm kind of like Kramer from Seinfeld. I'm hanging out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, I went deep into the closet today. You know, I had the special made shirt from Meek's Design Company on Thursday night. And I went deep into my closet to pull out the good Mojo shirt that I have yet to bring out for football season. So hopefully it'll work its magic, and Arkansas can come out of there 4-1. Because if you come out of this game 4-1, guys, the prospects of getting to 6 get a heck of a lot brighter.
Yeah, and you know, Matt, I wanted to ask you too. This thing is the last one in Jerry's World. What are some of the benefits of this thing going back from home and home? And like I said, we'll get to you guys in just a second. But what are the benefits of this thing going from home and home, in your opinion?
Well, you get to have recruits again back at home. I mean, you could take them there when you were a home team, but you also get the opposing players and your players to get to experience the different experiences at the opposing home venues. So us going to A&M is always unique and something that the players always talk about when they leave and look back on their careers. And you could say the same thing when we have them come to Arkansas, because I know a lot of times that we've given them some heck, especially Menzel.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been times that we've had great games, and I think we will again. We've got a bitter taste in our mouth from just losing all the games. Was it 1-8, one in the last 12?
I think it's 1-9, isn't it, MC?
Yeah. So the only victory we have over A&M in this game since they have been in the SEC was 2021 with Traylon Burks, KJ, and all that crew. They beat A&M 20-10 that year. in 2021. And as we have said, Matt, I know you guys have brought this up on your show multiple times. We've brought it up on ours. For whatever reason, this game seems to kind of set the tone for the rest of the season for Arkansas. Good, bad, or indifferent, it seems to set the tone. You look at 2021, Arkansas goes on, wins 8 regular season games, wins the Outback Bowl. 2022, the game we all want to forget, the game that was on my shirt Thursday night. KJ tries to defy gravity and Superman from the 5-yard. It gets returned 95 yards, completely swings momentum of the game, and then Cam Little, of all people, hits the top of the upright and doinks it off. If they're at any collegiate stadium in the country, that's a game winner, and Arkansas holds on. But that's the Arkansas gonna Arkansas that has happened in this series. So
there's a lot of it. I mean, the amount of games that have been just right on the cusp, of us winning, and somehow we managed to mess it up.
Guys, even he who shall not be named, his teams, one of his teams, either 18 or 19, I don't remember, one of his teams had a fourth quarter lead in this game.
Who are we talking about there, MC?
Zach?
There he is. What's up, Beard?
Yeah.
Sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage.
I kind of threw that out there to see if I could reel the Beard in. He's been awful quiet to this point, and I got him in. But, yeah, this game, I mean, it's, you look at, there's just a few teams that when Arkansas and A&M, and Ole Miss is another one, when those two teams get together, crazy things are going to happen.
Hey, talking about crazy things. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, you're good.
Kansas State is up on Oklahoma State right now.
I see that. Yeah. And we've got, I think Kentucky forgot to be afraid this morning down at Vaught Hemingway down in Oxford, because they're giving Ole Miss every bit of what they want. Ole Miss just went back on top 17-13 here at the end of the third quarter, but looks like this is setting up for quite the battle in the fourth quarter. And if Kentucky goes down there and pulls the upset over number 6, that's you may see a meltdown down in the state of Mississippi.
Think about this, though, okay? Kentucky gets blown out and manhandled by South Carolina.
Yeah,
okay?
At home.
Turns around and takes Georgia down, literally down to the wire, and now you're in a good battle with number 6 Ole Miss. Yeah,
at their place. I mean, they had the lead up until just a few minutes ago when Ole Miss went back on top. But I don't know if Ole Miss was overlooking them. I haven't been able to see much of it, but I don't know if Kentucky's playing a little over their head or Ole Miss underestimated them a little bit. I have a buddy at the game. He texted me. He's an Ole Miss fan. He said, everything is great here except the product on the field. He's like, we're playing really sloppy right now. He said the crowd is just waiting for a reason to explode. So
for those of you that are – go ahead, MC.
Oh, I was just going to say I have another text out because I have some family in Dallas today, so I'm trying to get some reports early on about the vibe of the crowd and the split of the fans. And I know when I went last year, man, it's overwhelming to walk into Jerry World, and you're on sensory overload when you walk in. And then I think there was about 66,000 at this game last year. And the way the acoustics are in there, there's nowhere for that sound to go. Man, it sounded like 85,000 in there at a couple points in the game. When Arkansas got that pick 6 last year to start the third quarter, I mean, you could almost feel the whole place shaking. Because the Arkansas fans that were there were just waiting. It's kind of like what my buddy from Ole Miss told me today. They're waiting for a reason to get loud. And that gave them a reason, but that was pretty much the only reason they had in that whole game to get loud, because it was just, it just was another one of those that things just couldn't go right. I mean, this is a game where Luke Haas got hurt last year. Third play of the game, I think, literally happened right in front of me. I was fortunate enough to sit down right behind the Razorback bench, 5 rows from the field. And as soon as I saw the hit and I saw him go down, I immediately texted Zach, and I was like, Haas may be in trouble. He may be done.
Yeah, I remember getting live updates from that game, and
yeah. But
and, you were talking about the awe of being in Cowboy Stadium. Matt, have you ever been?
I have. I went the first 3 years when Petrino was coaching.
Oh, you got to see good ones then.
Yeah, I did. I got to see the wins.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I unfortunately have not been able to catch a game down there for both Cowboys and Arkansas, but I did get to tour the stadium, and standing on the star at midfield and looking up,
Oh, I bet that
it
was cool.
is, oh
Yeah.
man. And I got to stand on the spot where Dak broke his ankle. We're not going to talk about that, but you know, again, and I've said this over and over again. This is a chance for the new guys, your transfers in, like a Taylon Green, a Jaquindon Jackson, to kind of step up and avenge the last couple of losses. Not all of them, but the last one, and make a statement in the SEC as a whole. Because think about it. You go into this and come out 4-1 and go into Tennessee. There is not a matchup in the country as good as Arkansas, Tennessee next week.
Right.
I guarantee you, game day will be here.
I think
SEC
so.
Nation will. If game day doesn't come, SEC Nation for sure will be here.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna give me the choice, I'm gonna take game day. And I'm a big fan of SEC Nation, but just the awe around the aura that game day brings. You know, you're gonna have all the normal guys on there, but the addition of Pat McAfee, he has won me over. I'm one of his dudes now, man. And to watch he and Saban as the odd couple on game day has brought a new level of entertainment that show honestly has been lacking for the last several years. So I'm hoping
just looks uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, it's because this is the first time he's been in a situation where he does not have total control, and he has to kind of adjust on the fly. And McAfee is the kind of guy that he can sense that in him, and so he's going to prod him just a little bit more to make him as uncomfortable as he can, and it works, and it's beautiful to watch. But I'm hopeful. You know, we got to take care of business today. I'm hopeful that Arkansas comes out. You mentioned Zach. You mentioned Green and playing in AT&T Stadium. This is not Green's first time to play here, nor is it Jaquindon Jackson's first time. Those two guys met in Texas high school ball and got to play at Jerry World. And so they're, that you always wonder about guys that come in here for the first time, if they're going to be in awe, if they're going to be a little overwhelmed of coming into the massive structure that is Jerry World. Obviously, these guys are not going to have that problem because they've been there before. It's a little different scenario, a little bigger environment, but you're still, when it comes down to it, you're still on a field that you've been on before. And I want to see Tailon. I mean, guys, I mean, we've seen flashes of greatness, and we've seen some head scratching moments with him. Overall, I think he's going to be fine. I watched the film breakdown from DJ Williams and Grant Cook earlier this week on 4th and 5, and I thought Grant made a very good point that I'm going to echo here. He was talking about, he said, we are all looking at this Petrino offense from guys who he said, this is level 101. This is freshman 101 level. He said, maybe sophomore of the Petrino playbook. He said, we are used to guys going out there and making graduate level plays, and that's what we're expecting out of him, and that's not fair to Tailon. And I hadn't thought about it that way, but when Grant threw that out there, I stopped and I was like, that's a really, really good point. This is more in line with the 2008 season when we saw, over the course of the year, Casey Dick struggled early on in that Petrino offense, but as the season went along, he tended to get a little better, make a little better decisions, started to see things a little bit. And, this is the time, and that I think that was part of what gave Mallett such an advantage, was having that year that he could set off and do nothing but study the playbook. And then when he came in 2009, he was good and he just got better. And I think Tailon is going to be fine, but he will be making better reads and better decisions 3 weeks down the road than he is up to this point.
Yeah, I agree with you there, MC. I watched that same breakdown. Like Grant said, these guys are in freshman, sophomore level Bobby Petrino offense, and we're expecting them to be making the graduate level decisions, especially on the O-line. They're cleaning it up. They're getting their reads better, but they'll get there. Something I want to jump into, back to the Ole Miss Kentucky game, and I teased it on the live stream from Rocktoberfest, which y'all stay tuned to our socials. Zach and Matt will be going live throughout the day from out there. But I seen on Twitter, old Jackson Dart tapped his running back on the arm and pointed at the ground and his knee magically got hurt.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was.
Prayers
It
up for
was
that running back.
blatantly obvious. So I want to get everybody's take around the table. What is the solution for this? Because Ole Miss has mastered it.
Yeah, they have. It started a few years back. Gus had players at Auburn that would just magically develop a cramp or something right at the exact right moment that Arkansas seemed to be getting momentum. And it seems like that Kiffin has taken that, and like you said, Jesse, he's mastered it on top of it. But how do you police that? Because how can you really tell if a kid's hurt or if he's crying wolf?
You definitely don't want to say crying wolf and somebody legitimately be hurt. So it's a very slippery slope.
And as we're talking about this, another Ole Miss player goes down right now.
Yeah, but he looks. I mean, I think he's.
Well,
legit.
I'm looking at the replay here. He might have got rocked pretty good, so he might be seeing a few stars here and there because that was a pretty hard hit that we just saw there. So that game, if you don't have that on and you're watching us, hey, we appreciate that, and we'll keep you up to date. It's 12:28 left in the game. Ole Miss is up 17-13 with the ball.
Yeah, and dude, as you guys saw at the beginning of the show, I want to welcome our newest sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek,
yes,
man, that is big for us. And we want to thank all of our sponsors: Rock City Wraps, Meeks Design Company, Cam Productions, Harris Made Chef Services, Alan Kerr Advisors.
So you can't forget that one.
No, I cannot forget that one. And big thank you to my guest co-host today from Little Rocktoberfest, Matt Hart.
Yeah, we have a celebrity in the house with us today, man. We're just,
I'm intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing this 8 years, and I'm over here going, I gotta be on my A game. Holy hell!
Yeah. So
but back to that, guys. Here's kind of what I'm thinking to tweak that rule a little bit and keep player safety at the forefront. And I want to hear what each of y'all have to say. Instead of sitting out one play when a player goes down injured, make them sit out the rest of the drive. Make them sit out until a change of possession.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, and the thing too, I don't know. Matt, what do you think?
You're always going to have a situation where the rule is going to get exploited in some way, and you're always going to have an actual incident where someone really is injured and get accused for faking it. I agree with you. It is an issue. It's been an issue for a while. Now they're not as egregious in the sense of like you were referencing where Gus would have you do it where you just got a first down and you're on your side of the field.
Yeah,
but it's just hard to litigate that because you can't judge, like you said, the authenticity of the injury.
Yeah, and especially with as injury conscious, I guess, as the game has become. With all the information about CTE and the big mushroom looking helmets that they're talking about bringing into play and stuff, you can't. I mean, this is not from back when I played where your coach looked at you and said, "Are you hurt or are you injured?" I mean, it's that era is over with. But I kind of like Jesse's idea to where, you limit, you put a time limit or a play limit on it of how long it has to be before they can come back. Because let's face it, if there's a question about whether or not one of these players is truly injured, the doc is going to need a couple minutes on the sideline to really evaluate them and determine, okay, he can go back in or okay, he can't. And it just becomes obvious when these dudes flop down like what you saw in the Ole Miss game earlier, and then they're out there, the very next play. I just think that the only way you're going to be able to police that is say if you go down and you are the cause of an injury timeout, you're out for a minimum of 3 plays, and then I don't know. I don't know why I picked 3. 3 was the number that came to my head, but I think that would cut down on some of it, and then that doesn't do anything to maybe take away from the integrity of if somebody's actually injured, because you're making sure you're taking that extra step and holding them out extra plays to ensure that they are going to be safe to go back in.
Yeah, and look, See, I don't. I'm trying to word this where I don't come across as an ass, but we all know how hard that
Impossible
is.
for you, Zach.
Yeah, I start saying
yes, that is
you got
next
a
to
mountain to
impossible.
climb there.
Yeah. Look, it even hit Arkansas at one time last year, because everybody remembers the Auburn game last year. Raheem, I'm not calling him Rocket anymore, by the way.
The bottle rocket.
Just kind of sits down on the field, acts like he's hurt, and never goes back in. So
I remember
but
that.
But like we talk about, y'all, it's not about loyalty anymore to the program. If these, and I hate to bring it back to this, but there's no way to police this whole thing, faking the injury thing. I mean, they say that if it's blatant and the ref sees it, it's an automatic 15 personal foul, 15 yards. But some of these, refs kind of act like Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, and Helen Keller are out there.
But at the same time, Zach, as soon as somebody tweaks a hamstring or an ACL walking back to the huddle, and they go down non-contact a minute after the play and the ref throws a flag, that ref's going to lose his job when the MRI comes back and they're legitimately hurt.
That's the flip side to this whole argument is you have to figure out, and I think that's why there's no policing it, because you can't differentiate between, okay, this guy's flopping like a LeBron James, or,
or insert Ole Miss player name here.
Or, or they're legitimately hurt, because we all know it takes a minute. If you get a concussion or your head's rattled from getting hit too hard, i.e. Andrew Armstrong from last week, it's gonna take a minute. You're gonna stand up, and next thing you know, you're gonna hit the ground.
Yeah. Yep, I agree, and it's an ongoing issue, and it's going to be interesting to see how it's policed going forward. But hey, I just got tapped on the arm, and I'm about to take a knee here, so why don't we go ahead and step away for a break? And when we come back, we're going to jump into this live fan feedback, because I see some of the comments starting to blow up. So, Jesse, you can go ahead and get the break ready for us. And tell you what, guys, we'll be back right after this. You are watching the Harris Made Chef Services Tailgate Show.
Chef James Harris is the go-to for our catering needs at Inside the Hog Pit, and he should be yours as well. Whether it's tailgating, a wedding celebration, or a simple Wednesday night meal that you don't have to prepare, Chef James builds the platform for an incredible dining experience. And with a wide variety of styles and influences, you can be sure Chef will have the menu ready for whatever your needs are. Oh, and by the way, fellas, looking for a romantic date idea? Chef James offers private chef services as well. Think about it. Just you, your significant other, and a beautifully prepared meal, all in the comfort of your own home. Check out Harris Made Chef Services now on Facebook at Harris-Made, or give Chef a call at 609-816-5629 to discuss your culinary needs.
All right, back here on the Harris Made Chef Services Tailgate Show. MC, Jesse the Beard Thurman, Razorback Zach, and the celebrity guest host today, Matt Hart of Hog HQ, in the first ever crossover between Inside the Hog Pen and Hog HQ. Gentlemen, we'll jump right back into this. Jesse, what do we got on the live fan feedback?
Well, Jesse's looking that up. I've got to tell you, dude, I feel like I'm sitting next to like royalty over here.
Speaking of royalty,
hey, Mama Lynn's in the house.
Hey, there we go.
And she is first up. I do believe it. She's first up in the comments, right, Jesse?
yes. And she says, "Hi, my Hawg Fanatics. Wanted to be the first to say hello." And then MC, I'm going to let you take it away because you've got a better name for him. Go ahead and take it.
So Mama Linda comes in with a hot take right off the bat. She's coming off the top rope here. Please keep Broden, and I'm going to add a little bit here to her comment. Broden, a.k.a. Skillet Hands, Mr. Lodge Iron Cast, on the bench, seems to have butterfingers. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine after this game the other day, and I had made a comment on Twitter about pretty much every wide receiver on the team, with the exception of Andrew Armstrong, had signed an NIL deal with Lodge Cast Iron because they couldn't catch anything with their skillet hands. And he's like, no, he's like, I can do you one better than that. He's like, he said they're playing like they have feet for hands. And I don't know at this point if it's mental or it's like when a hitter in baseball gets in a slump, he's a really good hitter, but he's working so hard to hit the ball that he's swinging at bad pitches. I don't know if it's one of those situations for Broden or what, because it feels like all the tools are there. He just, for whatever reason, he's just not able to close the deal when the ball's thrown in his direction.
As a couch coach, I'll tell you what my take is. He's trying to catch the ball in his chest, and that's pee-wee level. I remember that when I was trying to play tight end. Get your hands out, catch the ball away from you, pull it in. He's trying to basket catch everything, and I've noticed that on some replays. He's bigger than everybody else. Get up there, point it, reach up and grab the ball. You got gloves that are so sticky you couldn't let go of it if you get near it. Get up there and catch it.
Hey, Matt, maybe we can get him some highlights of Marcus Monk to look at, because he's about the same size that Monk was, and Monk was really good about, the running joke was that it was just a jump ball pass. It was like grabbing a basketball rebound. They would just throw it up, and Monk would catch it at its highest point above his head, and those little 5'9", 5'10" D-backs, there was nothing they could do.
Well, what I'm also seeing is when there are higher passes to Broden, his hands are way too wide. He's the one that sticks out was the Oklahoma State one in the end zone where Taylor Green made the great play and got it to him, and he just went right through his hands. He's got to get better at that. I feel like in a way this may be his last chance if he even gets a chance today. I've been waiting on Jordan Anthony to really get a chance, get some more speed on the field. And because then he complements Satania, gets the off of Satania a little bit, because everybody thinks of him as the speedster, the one that's the deep threat. Now you got two of them. Now you're really stressing on those safeties and making them key on both of them. You just took the top off defense right there.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, though, I mean, it's kind of hard to catch the ball when your quarterback's throwing it, into the 8th row of the state of the, of the stands.
He has had some wild throws, but I feel like if you've got the size of Broden and you've got, he's got huge hands too. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7", whatever he is, he's listed at. Those guys don't have tiny hands. They've got catcher's mitts out there for hands. And so he ought to be able to get those big paws on it if it's in the vicinity. I'm kind of like you, Matt. I would like to see a little more speed out there. Jordan Anthony, get him out there, he and Satania, put one on one side, one on the other. Send one deep, send one on a crossing route. Who are you going to cover? Because if you can get, it goes back to Petrino's thing of FTS, feed the studs. If you can get either Satania or Jordan Anthony out in space, that speed, man, speed kills. And if you can get them out in a one-on-one situation, I like the odds of them being able to convert.
He needs Tesla's hands.
Yes, he does.
What are the chances? And I want to add, we'll go round robin here. What are the chances we see Lucas today? Because he's kind of been MIA in the offense. I was going to save this till the end of the show, but I'm going to throw it out right now. First series, you will see at least one pass go in the direction of Lucas on the first series, if not the very first play. I'm throwing that out there because I feel like there's been way too much talk about it. Even Pittman talked about that he's been targeted, but because of the protection breaking down, he was the first option, and Taylor either took off running or had to look to a different option because he didn't have time for it to develop because of the blocking scheme breaking down. But I think they want to get him involved early, not just because he's been kind of MIA, but also because of what happened last year in this game. I think Haas can be a matchup nightmare, especially today. I feel like that. I don't think they could cover him with a linebacker or a D-back, either one. I expect a big game from Lucas today, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I don't know, man. There's just something in my gut telling me that we're going to see what we've all expected to see from Lucas to this point. Well, but you've also, you got Ty Washington to back him up.
And he's back today.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was listed as, I believe, probable. He was listed
and the jersey preview for the game from the official Razorback Twitter was Ty Washington's jersey. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
What skin? Okay, I'm going to ask a really dumb question here, Jesse, which is what I'm good at. What's the uniform looking like today? Are we all whites, white helmets?
we're going with the classic red helmet and icy whites the rest of the way.
Okay.
That's a
So
good
red,
helmet. I
red
need a-
domes and then Stormtrooper the rest of the way.
Speaking of, I need a white helmet.
Well, you
gotta-
can give me that anthracite helmet. And
No,
I'll find
I'm
you
not
a white
handing that.
one.
I'm not handing that one over, dude. You're gonna
So
have to
for
come down
my
here to-
round robin take on Zach's question there, I'm going to go ahead and say watching DJ's breakdowns, which I'm going to plug DJ Williams every chance I get, 4th and 5
Yes.
podcast. These guys know the game of football. They will forget more in one day than we'll ever learn in a lifetime.
Yeah.
We got to get our offensive line protection calls right. If we can do that, that's going to give Luke has a chance. And he's just got to separate on them quick routes. There was a couple last week. He was wide open, but at that time, Taylor Green was running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of things. But I think we get those protection calls right, and has just being a little more explosive off the line. And I think he will have a huge game if we can get those two things right for him. Matt, what do you got?
I think Haz is going to have a pretty good game as long as his back can allow it. I think
Yeah.
that's also been somewhat of the hindrance. Yeah, he's been going out on routes and he's been trying, but his back has been limited to him. And anybody's kind of paying close attention, especially after the play, you see him grabbing at his back a whole lot. So I think, and running is honestly probably going to stress your back a little bit more than just trying to block somebody, believe it
Yeah.
or not. And so I think he's going to be able to. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a touchdown, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
These
I
are the
think it
types of
would-
games, this
Mhm.
LSU, these are the types of games where he seems to really shine. And if he's healthy enough, I could definitely see it happening.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's not been talked about. He's not been on the injury report, so everybody just assumes, myself included, that he's fully over the injury when it's probably one of those deals of he's just good enough to where he can be out on the field rather than being fully recovered. Because, like myself, other people I know, if we don't see their name listed on the injury report, we just assume, okay, well, they're full strength, they're fully healthy, they're ready to go. I mean, what are we now, 4 or 5 weeks into the season? So you're about to the point where you're going to start getting a lot of little nicks and dings and the type of things that you can play through, but it is going to hinder your game a little bit.
That is very true. Hey, let's run through some of these score updates because I'm looking at this Oklahoma State Kansas State game and holy cow!
Kansas State is opening a can.
Predicted them.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
In our little pick 'em that we have with
Right.
Adam and that, I picked Kansas State.
So for those of our Hawg Fanatics that don't follow you guys, tell them where to find you.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and your podcast outlets, Spotify, and all that. We do a show Sunday nights at 8:00. You can catch us there, and sometimes we're posting information and whatnot, and trying to keep everybody in the know on the Facebook group, Hawg HQ.
So it looks like Kansas State just scored again. It's 42-13 with 10 minutes left in the game, and K-State has the ball. So,
are we surprised at this though?
I'm a little surprised it's that far out of hand.
That's
I
where I'm
didn't
at.
think it would get that out of hand. I thought it was going to be a close game.
I haven't been impressed with Oklahoma.
Oklahoma State hadn't done much
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, their offense can't do anything, but their defense is stout. But yeah, Oklahoma State, they can't get the offense going this year. They're not a typical Big 12 offense this year.
Yeah. And I don't understand why, because they have some weapons. I'm beginning to think that maybe Ollie Gordon was a little overhyped coming into the year. He has not capitalized on everything. You're talking about the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, and coming into this year, I mean, he's yet to have a breakout game. I'm trying to look up the box score real quick.
Let me jump in real quick, MC. I'll
Yeah.
turn it back to you. I think the defenses have just figured out that offensive line, because they returned 20 out of 22 starters this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
But that does not look like a cohesive offensive line at all.
Not at all.
So,
So Ollie Gordon
there's
on the
some
day,
trouble brewing in Stillwater.
he's 15 carries, 76 yards. I mean, it's 5 yards a carry, but
It's his
you're
best
late
game
into
of the
the fourth.
season.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and I think, and I will give. Okay, I'll do it.
oh, the one to the sky for Swami D-Mad, who is in the comments, by the way.
He is.
Oh,
he
yeah, we
is.
got to get back to comments here in just a second.
Well, and I know we're closing on the end of the show because kickoff's coming up soon. I wanted to ask you guys, did we write the book? And I think I'll give credit to Dylan because I think he's the one that actually made the initial comment. Did we write the book on how to beat Oklahoma State?
I think there's been a lot of film study over what Arkansas did that day.
I know we lost, but
yeah, but he didn't beat us. I mean, he had a couple scores late that it made his stat line look better than it was. But for, I would say, 80 to 90% of that game, he was a non-factor.
By the way, before we turn it back over to Jesse for comments and score updates, our thoughts and prayers do go out to everybody affected by Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know there's been, I know I've got relatives on the East Coast and checked in on all of them. They're all good. I've got an aunt without power for the last couple of days, though. But I wanted to ask you guys, and this is just a thought here. Last Southwest Classic in Dallas, and it goes back to home and home. What are some of the benefits of it going to home and home? I know we talked about it during the special edition of ITHP, but what do you guys say? I want to get MC and Jesse's thoughts on this too.
Go ahead, Jesse.
If we even play them after we go home and home, which they should be one of our 3 permanent opponents, but who knows what Sankey's going to do. I look forward to it being home and home. Kyle Field, if you can play at Kyle Field, you can play anywhere.
Yeah.
That is 100,000 cult members screaming at you. That you can play through that. That's kind of like 80,000 rednecks calling a hog.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good experience for the players. Obviously, it will be beneficial for both universities. And I'm not a huge fan of the neutral site games. There's a couple that need to stay how they are. Red River Shootout, world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
It's the world's largest tailgate party, Jesse, and
it's the
Red
world's
River
largest
rivalry.
outdoor cocktail party because I'm not Gen Z. I'm closer to Gen X than Gen Z. So
you and I are the same age, dude. So I agree.
But that's my take on it. Just beneficial for both universities, beneficial for players and their ultimate development. Have the games on campus where the fans that are donating all the money to the schools have the best chance to go.
Yep, I agree. Well, and so my take on this is very similar to that, because if you think back to when this was created, the Southwest Classic was created, it was a way for Arkansas to get exposure into the state of Texas for recruiting. It was for recruiting purposes, even though you could not have recruits on official visits at the game, which is another mind bender for another day. But now, once Texas A&M joined the conference in 2012, you kind of lost whatever advantage you might have had by Arkansas having that game away from home and having it at that neutral site. Now, it is cool to say, you've played in Jerry World, you've played on arguably one of the best atmospheres, stadiums of any kind in all of the country, but you can't. I mean, I go back to the recruiting. You can't have official visitors. It's just it's very similar to playing in Little Rock. Why would you go play a game somewhere where you can't bring in the guys that you want to bring in for that kind of an atmosphere? Because the atmosphere at Jerry World, it'll be wild today. It'll be wild. It'll be. I expect the game to be a little bit chippy at times because everybody. I don't want to say it's a full blown rivalry game, but it kind of has some undertones of some rivalry. There's no love lost between A&M fans and Arkansas fans, and I just feel like you're losing a lot. You're losing a little bit of each school's identity because at Kyle Field, you get all of the crazy cult members there. They lock arms, they sway. It moves the stadium. It's the scariest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. You get all the Hog fans, you get the Hog walk, you get the Hog calls. I mean, you're losing a little bit of your identity when you take it to a neutral site, and it's not one of these season opening kickoff type games. To me, those are about the only ones that I'm perfectly okay with a neutral site game on that first week of the season where you have basically those made for TV matchups. And then obviously there's a couple exceptions to the rule, like what Jesse talked about. But for the most part, I'm with you guys. I think it'll be better off. You know, it had its place. It was fun while it lasted, but it's just time to move it back to the way it should be, home and home.
I feel like it's just like we talked about with the War Memorial games. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to hit a few comments, a few last minute score updates, and then we'll wrap it up and I'll go get settled in to watch this game.
There we go.
I got Joshua Luna. Hopefully our kicker is ready today.
Luna
kicking.
Please.
That's my boy right there.
Kicking. I think kicking could be big today.
Swami D mad. Refs don't want to be wrong is the problem. That's when we were talking about the injuries.
Oh, at police and the fake injuries.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that as well.
Garrett Ray, my prediction: Arkansas 35 versus 28 for A&M. Defense help makes plays and focus more on the run game and less passing. Ask our thoughts. We got to get the passing game going.
Yeah, passing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas
100%.
A&M's got a strong defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get the passing game going. That way we create more even matchups on that line.
I think what determines, and I won't go too deep on this, but I think what determines the winner of this game today is the matchup of the Arkansas offense and the A&M front four defense. If they get pressure early and often, I think we're going to be in trouble. What else we got
definitely.
on live fan feedback?
All right. Jonathan Parker comes in. A whole series on a fake injury is too much. Maybe like until the next first down.
Maybe so. I mean, I was just trying to throw something out there and throw it to the wall and see what would stick. A whole series, it might be a little much. I think it depends on, could you set up a tiered system to where the first time you get injured, it's this. The second time, it goes to more plays. And then if you do it a third time, then you're out a whole series. I mean, maybe it's one of those. I don't know. But I think we're all in agreement that something's got to be done.
Oh, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
honestly,
about all we got for. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just saying. Honestly, you kind of put the referees in somewhat of being a doctor situation where they would have to diagnose the situation.
Yeah, and they're watching so much as it is, and we fans, I'm as guilty as anybody. We already complain about what they miss as it is right now. So now you're going to put even more responsibility and more pressure on the officials. Guys, the more we sit here and talk about it, the more I kind of understand why it's not been policed, because we've had some great points brought up here as to why it's not. So. Uh-oh.
I knew you were going to hit that. What do we got?
I'm seeing in the comments, MC, you got eyes on the game. What is this Kentucky Ole Miss looking like?
I'm looking right here. They're breaking down a replay on Telestrator right now. It looks like Kentucky may have just had a bomb. Let's see. Yeah, Kentucky completed about a 50-yard pass. The receiver stopped on a dime, changed directions, and got all the way down into the red zone. So 3:38 left in the game, and I would say Ole Miss is definitely on the ropes here because Kentucky's in the red zone. First down, 3:38, trailing 17-13.
Again, if Kentucky can beat Ole Miss, this is the book that we have got to dissect every bit of when we play Ole Miss.
So just looking at this, they're flashing up some stats here and there, and then you combine it with the scores, 30 points total. Whoever took the under on that, congratulations to you. I tip my hat to you. But you're talking about Kentucky's got more passing yards than Ole Miss right now. Kentucky is at about 245, 250. I don't remember what it said, but Ole Miss is barely over 200 yards passing. And with the way Jackson Dart has played to this point, I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card.
First down. First and
But
goal.
said there's
First and
3:38
goal.
left, MC. If there's anything I learned on my trip to Oxford, there's still time for like 6 more touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
I was
But-
there for the shootout in 21,
Yeah.
I think it was, when we went for 2 and lost the game. But
Hey, real quick, guys. I wanted to mention too, for those watching. First off, thank you for watching. By the way, we are live today from the 2024 Little Rocktoberfest. I've got special guest and intimidating me is Matt Hart from Hawg HQ, and we're going to be out here all day long. And this is benefiting Casting for Recovery, and what this charity is it breast cancer survivors and recovery, people in recovery from breast cancer, incorporate fly fishing. MC, have you ever been fly fishing, MC?
I have not. That is something that's on my bucket list. I'm not a huge fisherman, but that is one that I want to try.
Well, Jesse, in the special edition about an hour ago, Jesse has established and made it very well known, I don't have the attention span for fly fishing.
I think my FOMO would kick in, and I'd have to find a way to like mount my phone to my pole as I'm casting it out. I think it would be nice to get up there on the White River and maybe do a little fly fishing sometime.
But
before we get out of here, Sarah has made her presence known.
Birthday girl.
Yeah, birthday girl.
The big quarter
Happy
century.
belated birthday to Savage.
Yeah. Too bad. Well, I won't
Easy there, buddy.
I won't go there.
Easy there, buddy.
It's in relation to the discussion we all had last night. So no gift for you.
Kentucky just hit his touchdown.
Yeah. And I believe it was off of a fumble. I think I couldn't tell. I was late getting on the play, so I couldn't tell if it was running back, wide receiver, or quarterback. But there was a fumble, and it looked like maybe one of the offensive linemen might have recovered it. 84 tight end. So I'm waiting to see the replay here, but it looked a little messed up, like things didn't go quite as planned. So it was fumbled by the running back, and it bounced. Oh my God! It bounced perfectly into the hands, almost like a pitch, almost like an option pitch to his right. And it was just right there. Merry Christmas to the Kentucky tight end there. Wow.
Shout out to Baxter Meeks in the comments.
Wow.
Baxter, I am I caught wind that you have a special shirt for me, and I am terrified of it. I'm scared. Let's just put it like that. I'm scared.
All right, gentlemen. I'm gonna put a bow on this because we're about I've got 2:18. And we're scheduled to kick off a little bit after 2:30, so we want to give everybody time to get their cold beverages, their food, and get in their recliner. We'll go around the world here one more time. If you have to narrow it down to one key factor to today for Arkansas to win, what's it going to be? Jesse, we'll start with you.
Luke has.
Okay, simple enough. Matt,
it's got to be the passing game.
Passing game.
Green's got to complete passes.
All right. Zach?
Green has got to, I got to agree with Matt. Accuracy has got to be on point. You have a big opportunity to win this game. Complete your passes. Keep your mind in this game. Run the ball. Just play good, hard, fundamental football. And you're going to win this game easily.
All right. So that leaves me. I'm gonna go a little different from everybody else. I'm going to say your defense has got to bring you 2 turnovers today. I think if defense can bring 2 turnovers,
has to kick the ball.
if defense can bring 2 turnovers, I think we're good.
Just score more points.
I mean,
that's the simplest key of it all, right? You want more points
Can't
than
go
they have
wrong by scoring more points.
I mean that's some on point analysis from Sarah there.
Well, like I said, boys, as we're putting a bow on this, if you're watching this, make sure you keep an eye on ITHP's Facebook page and YouTube channel, because Matt and I will be going live throughout the afternoon during the game, possibly at halftime, and especially with the Allen Kerr Advisors 5th quarter postgame show. MC and Jesse will be joining us back once again from the ITHP Compound. And boys, it's about game time.
It is just about game time. I've flipped over to ESPN just to see if the game in front of us is going to run long. I believe that's the Oklahoma State, Kansas State
By
butt
the way,
whooping.
after the game,
Yeah,
you guys need to come to Little Rock, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Rusty Tractor Vineyards.
there you
For
go.
Little Rocktoberfest. $45 to get you in the door. You can have all the beer you can drink. Matt, there is one that has been aged and been made with Fireball whiskey.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
Wait, a beer?
A beer
made-
that has been made with Fireball whiskey.
oh.
Okay, I'm about 2 hours out.
You got time.
I
will-
could make it. I could leave
I
at
will,
halftime.
I will get this brewery on, and Matt, and I've got another guy coming in, Justin Garrison. They're going to be my testers because I don't drink, but we're going to get a taste of this, and we're going to, we'll interview the brewery that made it. But boys, it's time for Razorback football.
Yeah, let's go get your cold drink, get your chicken wings, get whatever it is that you like, and get comfortable in your recliner. Or in my case, I'll be up and down out of the recliner because I can't sit still during a ball game. So
Kickoff is scheduled now for 2:40.
yeah, there's still. I'm looking now. There's a 4 minutes to go here in this Kansas State Oklahoma State game, but the clock is running. So I don't know that we'll get the proverbial push over to ESPN News or the Ocho or wherever they try to stick us for the opening few minutes. Hopefully that by them pushing it back to 2:40, we should be okay. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to put a wrap on the Harris Made Chef Services tailgate show. Matt, Zach, appreciate you guys jumping in from being on location out there. I hope everything goes flawless for you guys this afternoon. Jesse, another great job in the studio there.
You better believe it.
And we'll be back, like Zach said, keep an eye on the socials because they're going to be live throughout the day. And then we'll be back after about 30 minutes after the game is over tonight for the Allen Kerr Advisors 5th quarter show. So until then, for the rest of the guys here on the screen with me, I'm your boy MC. We'll see you later tonight.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share that SeatGeek is a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Yeah!